What is up, everybody? I hope you guys are doing well today. You guys ready for a new video? I'm ready to make one. I'm going to go over some of the locations that I have and how they kind of performed throughout the year last year. Some of them did well, some not so much, and there's a couple in there that actually need to go. If you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button for me, hit that bell notification. If you have any questions throughout the video, feel free to comment down below. I'll be happy to answer. My name is Drake Pfizer with DSF Financial, and I'm showing like-minded individuals like yourself the ATM business and how I'm making my money work for me through passive income. 2021 was good for others, not so good for others. To me, I think overall it was a pretty darn good year. Of course, there was some negatives, but I try and stay positive. I myself am in good health. Even though I packed on a couple pounds last year, I can still run a mile in 8 minutes and 10 seconds, which I'd say is pretty good. My wife and family overall are in really good health. I do need to go take a trip to California to say hi to the family there. I haven't seen them in a little while, so that's something that I want to do this year. I've got a good roof over my head. I actually gained one person in the family. I was able to get someone to escape California. And I'm sure what you guys are all here for, the ATM business, which my ATM business did run a decent profit last year, which in a pandemic, I'd say is pretty good considering. Now, I like to think of my portfolio a little bit of split in two. So I have some ATMs in Austin that a friend of mine actually split the surcharges with. He fills the machines and maintains them, and I run all the processing and help him try and figure out how much needs to go in the ATMs. And then for my ATMs here in Dallas, I actually own all of these outright, so I do all the maintenance, the filling, the processing, all that stuff on my end. To start off, let's go with Austin. Now, like I mentioned in Austin, I do have a buddy down there who does fill them, maintain them, things like that, and I help on the processing side, the back end stuff, make sure things get paid accordingly. Now, we do have 3 laundromats in Austin, which actually do phenomenally well. In a pandemic, they were definitely essential businesses, and that helped us out because people needed to take money out of our ATM so they can do their laundry. Other times, first of the month or stimulus checks come, people definitely take money out of the ATMs, which is a win-win. It's a good benefit for that location to have us there. Now, we do have a couple bars that were hit or miss last year with the pandemic. Sometimes, unfortunately, they were having to close early, and unfortunately, they did sometimes have to stay closed. Now, these are cash-only bars, so when they're open, they do considerably well. But when they closed, obviously, they're closed, so we're not getting any transactions. What's a good thing that we noticed, though, is once they reopened, there was a big influx of transactions. Everybody's excited to go out. Everybody excited to party, and people needed the money, so our ATMs were there for them. And honestly, we tried to prepare for that too. If one of the bar owners let us know, hey, we're opening up next week, we would definitely make sure to have more funds in those ATMs for the influx and people that would be using them. Now, on to one of our sad locations. It actually was a really good location in a supermarket, but it did go up for sale at the end of 2020 and was purchased, and the person that bought the location actually does own other locations that have ATMs that he owns. So he just wanted to put one of his ATMs in there, which unfortunately we went ahead and did. Since we did have an agreement with the first owner, we did not have one with the second owner. And I think he knew it was coming. Once we found out that it did go up for sale and it was purchased, we tried to approach him about an agreement, but he kept kind of pushing us off for a week or two, and then let us know, I think it was at the end of January, that he wanted us out and he would be bringing in his own. But unfortunately, it does come with the business. Now, just like the bars, the barber shops that we had were also kind of hit or miss. When they were open, they did good for the most part, but when they were closed, obviously they were closed, which honestly, luckily here in Texas, we didn't experience a lot of closures, but in Austin, they did experience extra closures in that city. Now, banking on 100 to 125 transactions a month for those barbershops are definitely worth keeping, in my opinion. So we kept them even though they did have to close sometimes. Now, 1 month, unfortunately, we only had 3 transactions for an entire month, which kind of was gut-wrenching, especially because they were open during that time. They just didn't have a lot of seats or a lot of barbers to cut people's hair, and overall they were pretty slow just in general for that month. So it was unfortunate, definitely a slow month, but we decided to keep it in. And kind of towards the end of the year of 2021, we did notice that there was definitely an uptick in transactions. I think people getting ready for the holidays and Christmas, trying to look fly, trying to look fresh. They wanted to get their haircuts, and just like our bars, the barbers, they're cash only, so that helps us out a little bit. Now, unfortunately, the big money maker that I talk about, the game room that we have in Austin, it did close down, unfortunately. And so far, it does not look like it's going to be reopening anytime soon, which is unfortunate. But that was a really heavy hitter that we enjoyed at $4.95 per transaction. It definitely helped the profits throughout the year. Now, they did close because of staffing, believe it or not. I definitely know something about being short-staffed, and honestly, I saw the writing on the wall in terms of them possibly closing, and that happened when I noticed they weren't staying open as late. Being a game room, a lot of people do game, at midnight, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and with them, they were closing sometimes at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., which for the gaming business is not a good thing. So they did close. I'm still in talks with the owner in hopes that they do reopen, or maybe he'll be able to pass us on to another room in the area that may need an ATM, but so far no luck yet. And they have been closed for at least a good 6 months now, but I am hopeful. Now that's about it for the Austin market. The Dallas market is all mine, like I mentioned. I don't have anybody fill the machines or maintain them. I do all that myself. And so far, it's been really good. Got to throw it out there. If you have not subscribed, please do that. Please do that. Now, for my Dallas ATMs, I have a total of 9 locations here in Dallas, which I do 100% service and maintain them and fill them and all that good stuff. Now, just like in Austin, I do have a couple laundromats here, which do exceptionally well, especially during the pandemic. Because they're essential. You got to make sure to keep your clothes clean, keep that COVID off of you, wash it on down the drain. Laundromats do well, especially because mine are cash only. So they're the coin operated ones. So I honestly, I just fill them with 20s. I could one day fill them with 10s, but currently I do have them in 20s, which actually does work out well. There are some gaming machines in them, which I think do help the ATMs get used. Now, in terms of profit sharing, I do split with the owner of these 2 laundromats. And without getting too detailed in the finances, I had to pay almost $4,200 to him for the profit sharing recently. And it was gut-wrenching a little bit to cut that check. But then you start thinking about it in the grand scheme of things in the business world. Yes, I did have to pay, $4,200. But the entire profits that I was able to make off of those locations, the $4,200, it was well worth it. The owner of the location obviously is able to get some profits off of it since he doesn't manage them at all. And then I am able to also profit off of it, which is the name of the game for me. Get a profit, get a profit, get a profit, get a profit. Now, the owner of that location just rented me essentially a 3-foot by 3-foot space, as well as a plug so I can plug in the ATM, and the rest is all his to collect. Now, of course, being in the hotel business or being around hotels as long as I have been, I do have several in hotels, which also do very well. My extended stay locations do actually really well, which I want to get a couple local extended stay hotels around where I live, just to get some new locations. And being an extended stay, the extended stay guests do rely on that ATM for their banking, for their day-to-day living. So it's a really good benefit for the hotel. It's a really good amenity for the guests to have. there really is no reason why the hotel would say no, but unfortunately they do say no from time to time. But I want to get some more. That's my goal. Also, with it being a hotel, there are Ethernet ports throughout the lobby. Depending on the location, I put the ATM. Sometimes I don't need to spend money on a wireless router. I can just tap into the hotel Ethernet, which if that saves me $15, $20 a month, I'll take it. Now comes the two locations that I may need to get rid of. They're actually city-owned locations. One is at a courthouse where people pay their tickets or talk to the judge for traffic court, things like that. And the other city location that I have is actually at a small rec center that the city provides for the tenants in that city, and it does darn near zero. So a couple of those, the city locations, I think it's time to get rid of. Or to find new locations for. I don't want to quite get rid of them yet without having a location, but I definitely think it's time to look at other options. Now, we have kept on to them for 2 years now. We thought that the city would have, different outdoor events and festivals, things like that, that would require ATMs. But right now, they're still not doing anything. And with COVID still around, it doesn't look like they're going to be doing anything in the near future. We were hoping that once they did do that, we would obviously be the ATM company that they go to because we already have ATMs with them. But so far, it's kind of been a dud, and I think it's definitely time we find another location. Now, like I mentioned, 2021 did have its ups and downs. In my opinion, in my life, it could have been way, way worse. And I just try and see the positive in things. If you guys haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. If you guys have any questions at all, please put them down there in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And whatever day it is for you guys, I hope you enjoy it. For me, it is Monday, so I'm grinding like it's Monday. But if you're watching this on Friday, keep hustling, keep moving, keep progressing every day, just like it's Monday. Until next time, later guys.